Hey guys, welcome to Basically Minimal. My name is Morgan and this is my podcast. Today we are going to be talking about moving out of my childhood home. I am not moving out of my childhood home. I've been out of my childhood home for probably 15 years. I moved out when I was 18 and I'm almost 33, so about 15 years. But my parents are selling my childhood home and they have been there since I was 6 months old. So they have over 30 years of things in their house. My dad has been talking about moving for a few years and he found a great location. He likes the neighborhood, he likes the lot, he likes all the stuff about it. So it just now is the time because my parents are 70 and in 10 years, I mean, they'll be 80. So now it's the time to move, especially since my dad found somewhere he liked, and it's the same distance from my house to their house now as it is from my house to the new house, which is pretty cool. My parents are going to be 10 minutes away from my nephews, and right now they're like 40 minutes away, and they spend so much time with my nephews. So this will just be so great for that purpose. But my mom is so stressed out because, like I said, they have over 30 years of things in their house now, and she's thinking like, I gotta get rid of this stuff. And like I said, they're downsizing, so they can't take everything with them. And my dad just came up with this idea maybe like 2 weeks ago, and then it just all happened so fast. So my mom really didn't have time to think about it, and she just kept talking about how she doesn't even know where to start, which I feel like a lot of people are kind of in that boat when they're trying to get rid of stuff or declutter or just clear out their house. And I told her we're going to start in the family room, which she was apprehensive about because she's like, well, that room, that's going to be easy. But we did start there and we worked for almost 2 hours. I set the stopwatch on my phone. It was an hour and 50 minutes and we didn't even finish it. So definitely, like I always say, start small, but in this case we can't really just start with a drawer. We kind of have to go room by room because it is a move. So we started in the family room because that's the place where I felt there's not a lot of things and it will be easy, like she said, but I did know that it was going to take a while. I told her, I'm like, it's going to take us at least 2 hours. So, and she was surprised at the end because she's like, it did take that long and we're not even done. I'm like, So if you're watching me on YouTube, I'm going to use my hands to show you the room. If you're just listening to me, that's fine. You can try to visualize this. So their family room is just a big square, has kind of like high ceilings. It's an open space, and on the back wall, it's all fireplace pretty much. And then there's obviously 2 corners. So the one corner is the TV, it's on a TV stand, and the other corner she has like a plant and a little table, and it's kind of an end table to the couch. So she has books on top of it and just like trinkety things that you would see in a family room. I'm like, okay, we're gonna start right here. She's like, why? Like, that stuff doesn't need to really be gone through. I'm like, yes, it does. So what we did was I told her, go get a box because we are going to put this stuff directly in a box and label it family room. And she's like, well, we have all this time, we can do that a different day. I'm like, no, because we are going to have to do that for every single room. We need to finish the task right now. So she went and got some boxes, but she was getting nervous because she's like, well, I'm still going to use some of that stuff. For example, on that table were some games that my nephews like to play, and I said, okay, well, there's cabinets that we are going to go through, and I know we're going to get rid of stuff in there. So anything that you want to keep in this room that you're going to use before you move, we'll put into those cabinets. So she thought that was fair. Anything she was getting rid of, I brought directly to the kitchen counter, and anything that was staying, I left in the room on the couch. And then anything that she could just pack away now, we put on the fireplace. So we kind of had a little system, and that is important to have a system of just kind of what you're doing so you don't get lost when all the stuff is going. We went through all the things on that table and under the table, and then when it was all said and done, my mom cleaned it off, wiped it down, dusted, and she was like, wow, I can't believe how much stuff was on this table. I didn't even realize. So we did that little table. In this square room, there's couches facing each other, so couch on each wall, and then there's chairs, sitting chairs next to each couch. Behind that, there's a wet bar. I don't know if that's what it's called. It's just like a small bar with a little sink, and there's cabinets under there. And then on the other side behind the chair, my mom has a chest type thing. I started with the wet bar. Once I finished that table area, my mom kind of had some jobs to do with the stuff, like go through her books. So then I started in the wet bar, and I opened up the drawers, and you know, there's the McDonald's toys from forever. And she's like, well, I don't want to get rid of any of that stuff because the boys open up that drawer and they like to look in there. No, we are getting rid of this stuff. We kept a few things and I put them in a bag in there, and she's gonna have them look through it, or she's just gonna keep it. There was just some things that she wanted to keep, which is fine. You can keep things, but don't keep everything just because there's things in a drawer that you think you need to keep or want to keep. We went through the drawer. On the top of the bar, I put garbage, stuff to keep, and stuff to donate, because my coworker, she, in her treasure box, she does all those like McDonald's toys. If you don't know what a McDonald's toy is, when you get a Happy Meal, it comes with a little kid's toy. I had 3 piles going. So then when it was time for like the garbage, which was literally garbage, just my nephew put random papers in there or something was broke, I cleaned up all the garbage. The stuff that we were going to keep, I put it in a bag, and then the stuff for Sherry, I put in a bag, put it right next to the door. It's so important to finish the task. It's easy to just want to keep going, but starting small. We were in a whole big room, but I was just doing area, finish, and that is part of starting small. So then I went underneath, and oh my gosh, there's so many just random VHSs. Remember when you used to tape on a VHS? I'm finding home videos. I just put the home videos that we were gonna keep in. She had the video. The thing is it was organized. Like the stuff was in boxes and stuff, but there's just so much of it. Any VHS boxes she had, the videos that we were keeping, I put in there, and then the ones that were just like garbage, I put in a pile, and then the ones that we could donate, I put in a different pile. So I was kind of working like that, and then as I was going, my mom was like moving them to donation boxes. It's so crazy because after I cleaned out that drawer and that cabinet, there was room for all the books my mom wanted to keep, the VHS tape she wanted to keep. She wanted to keep this airplane like pillow thing that you put around your neck because my nephews like it. There was a iPad pillow thing that my one nephew uses that she wanted to keep. All the games that they play, all this stuff fit into the cabinets underneath the drawer. There was still room, like you just opened it and it looked organized, and my mom looked at it and she's like, wow, that's probably what it should have always looked like. And I was like, yeah, probably. Also in that cabinet, there were all these baby book, parenting books. She was thinking about keeping some. She's like, oh, this was my Bible, like when you guys were babies. And I'm like, you can keep it, but I feel like they're kind of outdated. She's like, oh yeah, that's true. Plus I'll just look on the computer if I have a question, like when I have kids. And I'm like, yeah, unfortunately that is kind of where we have moved to. She kept a couple that she really loved, and then she got rid of, like, to donate the other one. The cabinet next to it, we went through that. It was just like bar stuff. We have good laughs when we do this because it's just, I'm like, no, 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 and she tries to come up with a reason to keep everything. So we finished that area, and then we went over on the other side behind the other chair into the chest, and the 2 top drawers have like all of our old cell phones in it, every digital camera we've ever owned, which again, she's like, well, let's keep those because the boys like to use those on certain days. They used it one time. Like, we don't need to keep 4 digital cameras just because they might use it in the future. So I told her we could keep 1. And then the cell phones I took because I'm a teacher and the kids like to use those in the dramatic play. Think of other people when you're doing this. You can donate and you can use it for other purposes. So don't feel like you have to just throw away everything or donate everything. You can find them new homes. Let's just kind of wrap it up here. I went through the drawers. We went through the bottom drawer with books and stuff like that, and we did the same process where if she was donating it, it went in the box. If I was taking it, it went in my bag. I found Spice Girl CDs, which again, I don't need the Spice Girl CDs, but I feel like I cannot part with them. I almost took all the CDs I've ever loved. So I had taken, let's just say 10 CD cases that Will Smith, Mickey Mouse, Pop Club. Then before I left, I was like, wait, why am I taking all of these CDs? One, I'm not going to use them. Two, I could just take a picture of them. I did take a picture of a couple of them, and I only kept the Spice Girls because the Spice Girls were just a huge part of my childhood. Like, I was obsessed with the Spice Girls, and I kept the 2 Spice Girl movies. I didn't even keep the Mary-Kate and Ashley VHSs because I was like, I'm never going to watch this on VHS. So you just have to think about that. It's like, it's hard to part with things, and sometimes it just takes a couple times or 3 times to part with things. Even me, who doesn't want to keep a lot of stuff. So we finished the chest, kind of. The middle drawer had all VHSs, and I wasn't sure if they were worth anything or not. So I told my mom, like, I'll look it up, but I did look it up later, and they were not worth anything. But for the most part, we finished. Before I left, I did not want to leave without making sure she had put the stuff away she needed to put away into a different spot. She had like garbage bags out and these kind of bags, whatever. So I put those all together. I'm like, you need to put these somewhere. The things that she was donating, I'm like, you need to take them right out to your car. Everything was complete. Everything was done. And she did feel really good. She's like, I feel a lot lighter in this room. And that's the thing. You will feel so much lighter when you declutter. Okay, so my camera ran out of time. I'm looking at my list that I started with. What I think is important: cleaning, efficiently organizing, and finishing the task at hand. I hope you guys liked this episode. If you know somebody who is trying to live a more minimal life and just organizing, cleaning, being lucky, all that good stuff, share it with a friend, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye.